Hello everyone, this is Shadow's Mom, and we have the new freebie champion rotation for League of Legends. This week we have Dr.Mundo, Kassadin, Kennen, Kha'Zix, Malzahar, Morgana, Skarner, Soraka, Varus, and Vel'Koz in the freebie champion rotation. As usual, going to go down the list from, in alphabetical order, tell you the general items you can expect to see on the champions, the general role you can expect them to be in, as well as the general lane you can expect them to be in. So let's just go down the list with Dr.Mundo. You can usually see him either in the top lane, in the jungle, or even spawn him as kind of a pseudo support. Most likely though you'll see him either in the jungle or in the top, preferably jungle though. He's gonna be building a pretty good mix of kind of high attack damage items, but more along the lines of, just a way to beef himself up, but not, go to damage. Not go too much into damage and forget everything else. He's always been a weird one for me. I could never really understand the perfection of how to play Dr.Mundo, but the way I've seen him played is, good mix of attack damage, health, armor, and magic resist. So your basic, bruiser. You're gonna go for some attack damage, not a whole lot. You don't need a whole lot on Dr.Mundo, but you need a lot of health, magic resist, and armor. Those right there, get those three and you're set. And again, general lanes you can expect him to be in are either the jungle or the top lane. Maybe see him in the bottom as a pseudo support. Next we got Kassadin, who will be played mostly in the middle. He's very reliant on mana as well as his ability power. So items such as a Rod of Ages, Archangel Staff, they're all good for Kassadin. As well as like a Rabadon's Death Cap would be good. I would say maybe Crystal Scepter for Kassadin for the extra slow that Kassadin kind of does in a way need, but also doesn't. Also helps with your health and survivability, so yeah, pick that up. But yeah, I can expect to see him primarily in the mid lane. Next we got Kennen, who same thing can be top. Well, she can be top or middle, and can sometimes be played as an AD down to the bottom lane, but you'll primarily see her played in the mid lane with ability power items such as Landry's Torment, a Crystal Scepter, Rabadon's Death Cap, Abyssal Scepter, and all of those other fun things. She doesn't have any mana. She's all energy based, so items that add mana aren't necessarily the greatest for Kennen. But maybe if you want to just confuse your opponents and your teammates, go for a Trinity Force. Otherwise, stick with your standard AP items that don't add health or don't add mana. So again, Rabadon's Death Cap, Zanya's Hourglass, Landry's Torment, etc. And again, primarily mid lane, but can be played at the top or bottom as the attack damage carry. Next, we got Kha'Zix, who, much like Kennen, can be played, or much like Mundo, he's actually pretty good in the top lane, mid lane, or in the jungle. And with whatever lane he's going to be in, whether again it be top, mid, or jungle, he's always going to be built the same. High emphasis on attack damage. Not so much survivability, because you're meant to get in there, assassinate your target, and get out as quickly as possible. So, a Manamune would be pretty good for Kha'Zix. A Trinity Force isn't the worst. It's not the greatest, but it's not the worst. That's kind of a iffy item, but definitely Manamune, maybe a Bloodthirster, Frozen Mallet. All of those are very, very, very good for Kha'Zix. And again, it can be played in the top lane, mid lane, or jungle. Next, we got Malzahar and Morgana. Let's just go over both of these because they're pretty much the same. Malzahar and Morgana, you can pretty much expect them to be in the middle. Expect similar item builds, such as Landry's Torment, maybe Crystal Scepter. Can expect to see Rabadon's Death Cap, Abyssal Scepter, maybe I want to say maybe a Soul Eater, maybe. But other than that, Rod of Ages or a Archangel staff doesn't go amiss on either one of them as well. But yeah, that pretty much they're going to be one of the same. You're going to see them primarily in the mid lane. Morgana, however, you can see played as support, but again, you'll be seeing pretty much same items on her if she's playing support, just like you would see if she were playing mid. So no real item differences there. Next we got Skarner, who they changed him. He's a good, well, yeah, I don't know how I would describe Skarner, but he's got a good mix of attack damage and ability power reliance. But he's also like there's that weird middle ground that he kind of hits but kind of doesn't, where you kind of want everything on him. You know, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of something else. You know, you'll primarily see him played in the jungle, or at least that's how I've always seen him. Very rarely will you see him played either at the top or kind of again like Mundo's pseudo support at bottom. But again, you know, kind of to each his own on that one. And yeah, I'm not entirely sure on how to build Skarner personally, but I've seen, you know, good mix of attack damage and ability power. So you're not going to go for items like a Hextech Gunblade, for instance, but you know, maybe get a Trinity Force. That would probably be a little good for you. Maybe get a Iceborne Gauntlet. That's pretty good on Skarner. Maybe get, I don't know, like what would it be? Ravenous Hydra, maybe? Question mark. Again, I haven't played Skarner in a while, so it's hard for me to say. But you know, you want at least a little bit of ability power, so that those Iceborne Gauntlets definitely would help. Maybe a Frozen Mallet too at that point. You know, for just that uber chance of slowing. So yeah. But again, I've seen him played primarily in the jungle, can be in the top lane. Soraka, 9 times out of 10 you'll see her played as support, so she'll be in the bottom lane with the ADC. And you can expect items such as, you know, an Abyssal, well not Abyssal Scepter, a Rod of Ages, or a Tear of the Goddess, turn that into an Archangel Staff on Soraka. Maybe get a Twin Shadows. That's going to be good for Raka because of the cooldown reduction. Athene's Unholy Grail, that's going to be good for Raka as well. Gives her mana regen, gives her, you know, magic resist, and gives her some AP at the same time. But other than that, your pretty standard, you know, support items, your Runic Bulwark, your Ruby Sightstone, and go on from there. And again, primarily in the bot lane. Next we got Varus, who very, very standard ADC. Going to be seeing him built primarily attack damage. Maybe see him built ability power, but that's a very, very, very rare situation. But yeah, so items such as Bloodthirst are going to be good for Varus. A Trinity Force, or not Trinity Force, say a Phantom Dancer. Maybe again, I always get the name of this item, like it always, you know, fades my mind. Here it is, the Ruon's Hurricane. That's pretty good for Varus as well. And again, we could actually see the Trinity Force, Phantom Dancer, Bloodthirster, Last Whisper, maybe our Miracle Scimitar or Banshee's Veil. You know, all of those are going to be pretty standard on Varus. And yeah, that's that, again, primarily in the bot lane. And last but not least, Vel'Koz. You'll be seeing him built primarily AP. I've never seen him built AD at all because he just sucks at that point. So again, Landry's Torment, Rod of Ages, you know, you've got your Rabadon's Death Cap, Zanya's Hourglass, you know, all of those things. Maybe you want to get a Crystal Scepter too for the extra slow. But other than that, guys, yeah, that's it. Again, Vel'Koz primarily in the mid lane and AP items. That's it for this week. Again, sorry I'm not much help on Skarner. If you guys have any, you know, builds for Skarner that actually work, go ahead and leave them in the description or in the comment section down below. My name is Ben Shardaswolm, and I will talk to you all next time.